Hey, thank you so much for tuning in to a new episode of Cut to Movies with Vivek and Viru. Just before we dive in, we'd like to give you a disclaimer that this episode is filled with spoilers. So please do watch the film first. Unless, of course, you don't have an issue with spoilers, in which case.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Cut to with Vivek and Viru. And today we are in Spain. Netflix पे ये film available है. And I think lockdown के जैसे चालू हुआ था तभी this film had come on, and a lot of people were talking about it. In fact, Netflix was pushing it really badly, but I didn't watch it. Finally, when Vivek asked me to watch it, I have seen it. It's a very interesting movie. It's like a science fiction dystopian world kind of thriller. Vivek, tell us about it.
Yes, it's The Platform, directed by Golder Castelu Urrutia. This Spanish film, it tells the story of a prisoner who's housed in a vertical cell. Think of it being in a tall skyscraper, where inmates are fed through a table that provides them food on its way down. This film is like a social commentary on the horrors of societal structures and the consequences people face depending on the slot of hierarchy they fall under.
I had heard about the concept some time back, but every time I wanted to start this film, पता नहीं something was holding me back because I was thinking कि यार इसमें क्या होगा, एक ही वो सेल में रहते हैं, वैसे वाला फिल्म्स होता है ना, जैसे द सॉ होता है, या I had seen something
Yeah.
called the Cube. उधर भी ऐसे एक छोटे
Yeah.
इसमें थ्रिलर होती है basically. 5 or 6 characters are there. They are all in a room or a minimalistic setup, and they have to find a way to get out. तो मुझे लगा वैसा कुछ होगा. I was not really being pushed to watch it from within. But yeah, I mean, when I watched it, it was quite interesting. I mean, of course, they have kind of figured out a parallel between society and this whole hellish prison that is there. I felt कि ठीक है, starting में मेरे को एक दो levels का interesting लगा. उसके बाद जैसे जैसे वो आगे बढ़ रहा था, I didn't know when will it end, and towards the end it became all the more abstract. It was okay. I mean, I watched it. I had thought about it, and वो जो ऊपर superficial level पे जो various stratas of society and how the rich get everything and the poor don't get anything, they get only scraps and plastic. वो वाला मेरे को लगा ठीक. उसके अलावा I mean, I don't know, थोड़ा और excitement हो सकता था. Maybe they just made it as real as they could make it. And they could have gone a little over the top मेरे लिए.
I thought it was brutally honest, and I think that was something that I really, really liked about the film. There was nothing that was just there for effect. There was a point that the director was trying to make, or the filmmakers were trying to make, and it came across in kind of every scene. And what I really liked is that it touched upon not just one type of societal divide, but a lot of them. Like
Okay.
Apart from the class divide that there was, if you double click on that, there was like an unequal distribution of food. Like people around the world are not consuming as much as they that they just require at that point of time, but they
Right.
always are greedy for more. So it was kind of making a point on greed. Then even gender, for instance, that scene of the girl where she was being picked up and raped by those two individuals at one floor.
Hmm.
I thought there was even a slight, they were touching upon even the subject of race, where he was finally going down with the black guy.
Okay.
And so I really thought that it touched upon a lot of problems that we face in society in today's day and age when it comes to the division between human beings. For me, it also reminded me a lot of the Bong Joon-ho films like Parasite and his other films
Okay.
as well, because they all of those films have an underlying message of
Right.
the societal divide, and I thought that came across really well for me and said in a very interesting way. Like, I love the metaphorical bit, but you're right, like the ending, as it got, I mean, as the movie progressed, I was also wondering what is he going to say then, and in the end, and how is he going to now end the film. And there, I think I also, I mean, the film lost me as well by the end of it.
हाँ मतलब
मुझे
इट वाज
समझा ही नहीं.
अ टैड टू लॉन्ग. आई मीन उससे थोड़ा सा छोटा हो सकता था. एंड समहाउ इट बिकेम ऑलमोस्ट लाइक ही ऑलमोस्ट लाइक द डायरेक्टर हैज गिवन अप ऑन सोसाइटी कि ऐसा ही
Yeah,
हो सकता है. लाइक इफ यू आर एट द बॉटम एट वन पॉइंट and you get a chance
yeah,
to rise in society, then you will not do anything good for the people who are below you, because you have seen all
yeah,
the atrocities that people do, rich people
yeah,
do. So you will also do the same. You will not help out anyone who's poor, which is kind of a cynical look at society.
correct, correct.
तो मेरे को वो क्या इंटरेस्टिंग लगा वो है, आई लाइक द मेन कैरेक्टर जो गोरेंग था ना, वो मेरे को बहुत सही लगा.
हाँ, हाँ.
इनफैक्ट द एक्टर्स आर इंटरेस्टिंग. द फर्स्ट टू पीपल, लाइक द गाय ही वेक्स अप विद द ओल्ड गाय,
The
वो
old
दोनों
man. Yeah,
कैरेक्टर
yeah,
जो
the old.
ऑब्वियो ऑब्वियो करते रहता है वो वाला इंटरेस्टिंग लगा मुझे. दोनों दो दैट गाय एंड द हीरो ऑफ कोर्स वाज रियली नाइस. व्हाट आई फाउंड आउट लेटर, बिकॉज आई वाज थिंकिंग कि बाकी सब कुछ कुछ लेके आ रहे हैं आइटम, ये बुक क्यों लेके आ रहा है, मतलब व्हाट इज द सिग्निफिकेंस. मेरे को पहले लगा ठीक है, हो सकता है कि दिस इज लाइक अ लर्नड मैन, कुछ तो इसके लिए वो बुक लेके आया है, वो अपना टाइम वैसे स्पेंड करना चाहता है, रीडिंग हिज फेवरेट बुक और समथिंग दैट. It's like a nice thing to have with you, but
Hmm.
soon you realize in the context of the jail, it's the most useless thing that you can get. Maybe you can eat the pages when you are
Yeah,
like really hungry, but otherwise for survival it is the worst thing. जो उसके साथ वाला लाता है, that's a much more useful thing. वो जो knife
yeah.
लाता है, right? You
Knife.
realize
Yeah,
वो उसको तो पहले पता नहीं रहता क्या किधर जा रहा है. They just sign up for this whole hell hole. I don't know why they do. ये वाला तो I think the Goreng just comes in voluntarily because he wants like a diploma. तो उसमें basically ये दो characters जो starting में होता है, एक जो होता है people who are actually in prison and they want to like waive off their prison time, and दूसरे हैं who have come voluntarily for some diploma. So then I read upon it, and this guy brings a book called Don Quixote, right? It's like
yeah,
one of the most famous books. It's actually about someone who's determined to change things that are wrong. So the significance of वो Don Quixote है, but who does it in a very silly or impractical way. That is exactly what Goreng does. He kind of rises up and
yeah,
thinks कि मैं change करूंगा.
yeah, yeah,
वो जब spontaneous solidarity चलती नहीं है तो बोलता है मैं change करूंगा, but the plan that he comes up with is useless basically.
yeah,
So
yeah.
that was the parallel that the director wanted to bring. तो मेरे को वो इंटरेस्टिंग लगा, वो बंदे का जो है वो कैरेक्टर एंड उसका परफॉर्मेंस भी सही लगा मेरे को, वो बंदे का मस्त लगा.
Yeah. I was actually liking the banter between the old man and Goreng, like you were
Yeah,
mentioning.
yeah,
And then when the old man gets desperate to kind of eat his Goreng's flesh, is when that took me by surprise. Because at that point of time, again, it became like the fight for survival for the human spirit. Even when the old man was like, I mean, we don't know why he was there in the prison, but even when he's so old, but yet he wants to stay alive. And he can do that at any cost, even if it
right.
means that he has to eat someone else's flesh.
Because he has been through hell like
Yeah.
we don't know how many times.
Yeah, yeah,
So he's
yeah,
become that way. But
yeah,
Goreng, even though he has been through a very low floor, when the second time he goes there, he still is like not someone who will do the same as the old man does.
correct. Yeah,
So
yeah,
so
correct.
that उसका कैरेक्टर थोड़ा बताया है कि भाई he wants to do the right thing even in the
Yeah,
worst of
yeah,
situations.
yeah. The old man even tells him, right, that you are a good person at heart. You won't last that long. So,
Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
yeah. और इसमें वो जो what did you think वो girl का क्या significance था? I didn't get it at all. Like one, the lady who's going ऊपर से नीचे, उसका वो story भी बताते हैं कि actually she didn't have any kid, but end में एक kid को
yeah,
दिखाते हैं वो लोग. I also felt कि ये क्या हो गया, या तो the story isn't true or it's all in this character's mind. So I just didn't get the end, and of course it was all like a very sad kind of a end.
Yeah.
कि there is no hope. It's like a dark comedy ना, जाने भी दो यारो, कुछ hope बचा नहीं है, ये लोग का तो वाट लगना ही है.
I think when the woman character was introduced at that point of time, in my head, it was a narrative of divide. So then I kind of added one plus one, and I said that okay, maybe now they're getting into gender divide, how the woman is being treated in a jail full of men, and she's trying to survive, and it's as difficult, right? But yeah, by the time the film reached the end, and when the woman, I think she voluntarily again goes back up, right?
Yeah.
While the man stays down. So
Right.
at that point of time, again, when it connects with the end, and after I see the kid and all that, I really did not understand what was happening. I was reading about it, and the director apparently said that he wanted to keep it open ended, but even open
Okay.
ended, you don't really know. I mean, what to perceive of it, except that the guy is still optimistic, but the world that he leaves behind is still as pessimistic as it could be. So
Could be. I mean, whether the girl shooting up on the platform in the end may just be like the only hope that he's like, it's almost end for him, and वो एक ray of hope छोड़ के चला जाता है while he's dying. हो सकता है.
yeah,
That could be it.
yeah,
I read somewhere कि this lady, what happens is basically she saves him, right, once when the old guy is going to kill him.
yeah, and
Uh,
she eats the old
so
guy.
and then while him and that black character, they are going on the platform, in the end they are going to the lower floors. That is when the guy sees the lady getting killed. तो वो बोलते हैं कि वहां पे जब
Right.
वो लड़की को मारने जाता है, and that is when they have this brutal fight. They are almost at the end, and वहां पे वो lady को मरते हुए देख के, it's everything else then happens in his mind. So in
Yeah.
his mind, that floor manifests where nothing goes hot or cold. There is this girl who is actually now supposed to be real. तो वो it's all his hope, like you were saying, वो उसका जो hope है, वो जो desperately चाहता था, वो कहीं पे से बाहर निकला है. So maybe that, I don't know. I mean, it's like open ended छोड़ के रख दिया है for people to just discuss. It's basically, again, वो एक और interpretation is hell, right? Because 333 floors and 666 people, and so it's like purgatory or hell. वो तो straightforward था, वो 333 666 and all of that shit. But yeah, I mean, yeah, it is an interesting film to watch. I mean, I would say कि अच्छा, अगर तुमको देखना है कुछ interesting तो देख सकते हो. If you can watch films which a little bit of gore, तो yes, do watch it. कि अगर 100 वो देखा है तो देख सकते हो. एक दो फिल्म था जैसे मैंने पुराना देखा था, like this kind of a setup which kind of figures out कुछ psychological socio-political situation के ऊपर allegory और metaphor type का ऐसा जो films होता है, उसमें एक दो फिल्म मेरे को बहुत अच्छे लगे थे, which I would recommend probably if you have not seen them. एक तो the Stanford Prison Experiment. Have you seen that?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
So that was again very interesting. I mean, उसमें भी they started off almost like an experiment to कुछ लोगों को prisoner बनाते हैं, कुछ students को guards बनाते हैं, and then they see कि क्या हो रहा है, how people react to that situation. That is interesting. And then there is a Nicole Kidman की film है Dogville करके. Okay, तो वो भी मतलब वो actually थोड़ा सा अलग है. It's actually minimalistic film. It is actually set up as a stage, and the entire thing is like a parallel for an actual village and for society. तो उसमें भी bits of human behavior दिखाया गया है.
Okay.
In tough situations. Yeah, it's a very difficult film to watch. ये एक दो फिल्म मेरे को याद आया, और obviously 100 वगैरह तो ऐसा ही टाइप का था. तो maybe if you want to watch it, a similar kind of a film, you can watch those.
From the metaphorical point of view, I think the only guy that comes to my mind is Charlie Kaufman. मतलब उसके picture में meaning निकालते तो But yeah, I mean, he also kind of gives a lot of commentary on more so relationships. I think his films are more inward looking as opposed to
Right.
looking at society and commenting on them. But yeah, I mean, I can't think of any other film that I have watched and which has commented on societal divide apart from this one. And it just reminded me of Bong Joon, whose work.
Right.
So yeah, but apart from that, I can't think of anything. But
नहीं
I'll
ऐसे तो
watch
वो ऐसे if you
Dogville.
even to look at Matrix तो उसमें भी
हाँ,
basically they are trying to have some commentary. Yeah, that's more entertainment. यहाँ पे it's more like the shock value of the entire experiment.
correct.
Experimental setup. Would you like recommend people to watch this?
Yes, for sure. I mean, I don't think I mean, at least for me, I don't think the gore was as bad. But yeah, it's like a mirror in front of you, and this is what the society is, and this is what
Yeah, what would you do?
yeah, like what would you do? I think it's a
What would
question
you
of one's conscience. But yeah, I think it's a good film to watch.
Awesome, and I'm sure a lot of people would have already watched it because Netflix was pushing this like crazy. वो टॉप 10 में वो लोग का जो रहता है उसमें तो आता रहता था ये last year. So a lot of people would have watched it. So I'm hoping that people who have watched it, and if they have some other take on it, if they loved it or whatever, they will comment and let us know
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
how they felt about the film. So yeah, I mean, for everyone out there, do share your views on the film. If you've not seen it, do go ahead and see it. Do follow us on Spotify and our other channels. Please share, save our episode so that other people can actually also see it that you have shared it and they start following us.
Yes, please, and don't forget to follow us on Spotify. Go to Spotify, search for our channel, and just press that follow button and ask your friends to do the same.
All right. Bye, guys.
Bye.